Hello all, welcome to stock market update. So I wanted to show you triple Qs. You can see it's going down. This is 1 hour chart. This is cash market, and you can see there are gaps, two gaps on the upside. There's another gap here, small gap on the downside, which is very close to a trend line. Let's say worst case scenario. If we do come down here, there's a little bit more downside. Worst case, it can come to gap fill around 2.2%, which is very close. Or we are almost done. We are trying to form a bottom here. The reason why I'm saying that is because of this divergence. You can see 1 hour chart, we're going lower, still divergences are building up, which is telling me that the trend is going lower with higher momentum on PPO and RSI. And also you can see it's making like a bullish falling wedge if I draw it like this. So what that means is we are now going in a wedge. Okay, hold on, let me try it properly here. Oops, sorry guys. So you can see here, we are going down. You can see in a wedge, and we're just waiting for a breakout. So now we're coming closer to the bottom of the wedge, and you can see here, now you have to wait for it for a breakout, back test, and then, so I think a breakout would look like this. Let me try to get the right tool here. You want to wait for a breakout, right? Back test the wedge, and then go higher. So just remember, if you're holding long positions, it can still go a little bit lower, but eventually these gaps will be filled. So just be patient. If you're holding long positions, this is the time you want to buy. When nobody wants to buy, media might be thinking it's like market is going to crash and this is the end of the world. And you can see first gap is around 5.63% up, second gap is around 6.29% up. So just remember, we are in a bull market. In a bull market, you don't see new all-time highs. Okay, you don't see stocks like NVDA breaking out. You don't see stocks like the biggest stock, which is Apple, which is down. We will talk about it very quickly, but you don't see new all-time highs. Okay, you can see this. This is a bull market, guys. You can see Microsoft here. This is a bull market, and you can see stocks like Nvidia breaking out, right? So um, no matter how low we go, just remember, if you can hold for a while or like a month or so, eventually these gaps will be filled. This is S&P 500 now. It's broke this support, which was very critical, and also on daily, if I draw a daily chart, you can see now it's going below this trend line, and this is like definitely a concern. However, now, okay, another one. This one has a gap way down below around 4 to 420. Okay, so from today's close all the way down is around 4.27%. It's not going to go straight down. Now, one other thing I wanted to show you on 1 hour chart. Let's get rid of this support green line because it's gone now. So you can see on 1 hour chart, if I zoom in, there was this gap down on Tuesday, 15th of August. This gap is still not filled. Another gap here. Okay, so same thing here as well. You can see we're going down and momentum is still higher. PPO and RSI are still going higher on 1 hour chart. So that's telling me it's same as S&P triple Qs. We're going on a wedge with higher momentum on RSI and PPO. So we can get an impulsive bounce very, very soon. So you got to be prepared for that. And this is this is live market. You can see here also going lower with higher momentum. Nasdaq 100, same thing, going lower on higher momentum on PPO and RSI. So no matter, just remember, no matter how low we get, we will get, and even on futures, actually the futures gap down after Fitch downgrade on 1st of August. So even futures, live futures have a big gap. You can see here, S&P 500 has a big gap here. Futures have a big gap. So that gap will definitely be filled, guys. So no matter what people are saying, how low we get, just remember, look at this gap here. I can even show you this gap on, let's quickly look at MES chart. Let me, give me a second, let me find where I kept that one. It should show futures down there as well. Let's quickly see, it should be here somewhere. There you go. You can see here, this gap here. Even on MES, there is a gap. This is live gap. and MNQ also has a gap. So no matter how low we get, just remember we are going to go almost 5.5% on MNQ and MES. This is live market. So from here, we definitely gonna go fill this gap. So just be mindful of that. So if you can hold for like a couple of weeks to a month, I think you're in for a massive gap fill. So just be mindful of that. And also same thing on gold. You can see same scenario. Nothing changed since yesterday. We're going down on higher momentum. It might look like really bad now. Everything is falling, but just remember we are towards the end of the rate hikes. Gold miners. You can see all these gaps on the 1 hour chart. These all will be filled. So these are the opportunities. You can see higher momentum on PPNR. So these are the opportunities you want to buy, right? Okay, let's quickly look. Let's do a daily analysis very quick. You can see here now we're breaking down. Let's quickly look at SPY. You can see now SPY, this is concerning. It's below the trend line, but sometimes, they could do a fake move and then recover. So today's price action is already up 0.37% pre-market. Today's price action is very important. We really want to see SPY going above this trend line and do a gap fill. So if that happens, that's really a good move. So if I show you in like moving averages here, you can see here SPY is below 50 EMA, which is yellow line, and red line, which is 50 SMA. We really want, actually, you can see pre-markets already trying to recover above 50 EMA, which is very good. So this could be like a stop rate for bulls. They want to take their stops out before a recovery next day. So if we now recover today above this 50 EMA and 50 SMA, that's very bullish. If we recover above this trend line, fill this first gap, yellow line, that's really bullish, guys. So that's going to be like an engulfing candle. So we'll watch for that. And same thing on triple Qs. Let's quickly look at triple Qs here. Uh, Actually, it's going on a wedge. You want to see a breakout. But yeah, so I'm looking for, like, there is this trend line as well. Let me hide these moving averages. It gets easier. So you can see all these gaps, yellow lines are the gaps to fill to the top side. You can see we are on this trend line and we could go down, fill this gap, or we're getting ready to fill this upper gap. So just remember, no matter how low we get, we're gonna go high and fill these gaps. And the other thing is, if we're now gonna go fill this gap now, then we will not come back later on. So then we just gonna keep going higher. Okay, so just remember that eventually long term we are going higher. And last couple of months are very bullish seasonality wise as well. This is gold. Again, same thing, going high on higher momentum. Now looking for a rally to backtest this trend line. It broke this trend line and looks like it made a new low, but we are due for a rally on gold. Gold miners again breaking down. Oh, actually the gap is filled. You can see nicely this gap is filled here. So now there are no gaps, although it looks like there's another gap on 1 hour chart. We'll see if that's going to be filled later on. But this is good. There's no gap here. So now look at all the gaps on the top side. All these gaps are there to be filled now. Let's quickly look at silver. Right on this trend line, bounce, and now again bouncing right on this trend line. Natural gas again broke down yesterday, and now they're recovering it. So if you're gonna go back on this trend line, it's bullish, right? Natural gas is also looking good. I was just trying to see if I can draw this trend line in a different way. Let's quickly see natural gas. Can we do it this way? This is also another way of drawing this trend line. Yeah, they could be. Just trend lines can be drawn in different ways. So here you go. We can take that also. So again, this can be also support and now going higher. So actually, you know what? I like the other one better. So because they had more points here. So let's keep it like that. Okay. Crude oil, again, by the dip, lower high, going higher. Nothing mattered here. Bitcoin breaking down, but again, it's not an impulsive breakdown. So if today we recover back on this trend line, that's like this, then that means this is a fake out move, right? One thing, let's see on 1 hour chart, you can see how oversold we are here. So we are due for a relief rally at minimum backtest. Like if all the indices gonna rally, that's gonna make Bitcoin rally as well. So this could be like a fake out move, which was yesterday. Ethereum, same thing, breaking below this trend line. But let's see, we really want to go and recover this trend line. Until this trend line is recovered, it's bearish. Bonds keep going lower, but right where they should find some buyers here because they're right at the support line here. I really want bonds to find some buyers here, so they might. Let's see. Copper again, right on the buy zone here. This is where you want to buy copper, right on the buy zone. Okay, guys, this is the support line. So I think actually it is up now. So I think recovery is starting now. Palladium, you can see again, we had this downward sloping bullish falling wedge, broke out, back test, and now it's recovering. It's right on the support. It could go back test this again, but these are all good buying opportunities. Wheat, again, you can see daily chart, broke out, back test, again new high, and now again came for a back test of this trend line. So wheat is getting ready for a pump. This is where you want to buy. We want to buy on a back test of this trend line, of the wedge, sorry. Corn, new lows, but again, you can see like momentum on PPO is higher, although on RSI, I don't see that momentum. So actually, if you can do it like this, let's see if that works. You can see here on corn, let's zoom down a bit. You can see on PPO and RSI, we're going higher. You can see even PPO here. You can see corn is going lower, price is going lower, so higher momentum. So that's good. Soybeans right on the buy zone. Sugar, back testing, so trying to it's right where it should be finding resistance here. We'll see if it can recover. And let's quickly look at tech stocks here. Tesla, you can see here, finally touched my trend line. Now it's like very close to this gap fill, 221.97. Are we gonna get that? I'm not sure. Maybe since we are very close, maybe they will just gap fill, maybe they will bounce and then come back. There are also gaps to the up. All these yellow lines are the gaps to the upside, and then these green lines are the gaps to the downside. So the good news for the bulls or people who are waiting, this is the time to buy. You can see support and line, support coming right there. This is the time you want to buy. You want to buy on support, guys. You don't want to buy on resistance. You want to buy on support. This is the time to buy these stocks. Netflix coming close to the buy zone. So also this trend line. So this gap fill here. So probably they're going to come and fill this gap probably before going higher. So I think they're getting ready to fill this gap. We'll see. Maybe in the morning we'll have a little bit dip on Netflix, fill this gap and then go higher. Now Google, this is like a flag. So there is this earnings gap. I don't think they're gonna fill it fast. So probably they're gonna bounce before they fill. So Google had a great earning, so I don't expect it to go down like that. So I think we're due for a massive bounce. Microsoft, now below this trend line, this looks like a stop rate to me. And there's another big gap here. So let's see if they want to fill this gap before we go higher. That's quite possible. So maybe we can have another day of weakness and then fill this gap and then go higher later on. Or maybe in the morning we'll have some weakness and they will reverse end of day. We'll see how it goes. A Meta was on this bearish rising wedge. We can see lower momentum and now it's breaking down. Fill this gap. There's another gap, slight gap here. Let's go to 1 hour chart to see that gap. You can see this gap. So let's see. Maybe they will come down, fill this gap before a bounce on a back test. We'll see when that happens. So eventually we'll get this back test, fill this gap, and then go lower. Okay. But if we go lower now, then we don't need to come back later. So we go lower and then go higher later on. Apple, there's this gap here, so definitely we want this gap to be filled, and I think they will fill this gap before going higher. Since we are very close to this gap fill, if I go to 1 hour chart, you can see this gap here. So that gap is now like maybe not less than $1 away. So from to close, it's like 0.45% down. So definitely looks like Apple will close this gap before going higher. Amazon already started entering this gap, so also on this trend line. So let's see if Amazon can fill this gap before going higher. But just remember the gaps to the top as well. Snowflakes, I think we're getting very close to earnings, but you can see cycle low is here, so getting close to the bottom and keep going lower. So there's nothing bullish about Snowflakes here. And NVDA, massive candle, looks like making a flag, but definitely I think it's gonna go fill this gap before it comes down after earnings. So be careful if you're holding NVIDIA. AMD gap down again. You can see 1 hour chart, that gap will fill, 3% down, 3.7%. So probably we're due for a rally, and that will be filling the gap before we go lower, in my opinion. So that's on that. And yeah, again, guys, this is where we are. Futures are a little bit green. Just remember, no matter how low we get, this gap will be filled. Alright, guys, take care.